he might be able to do a lot of CrossFit, but if I get one good dig in, I could probably break his jaw. So I'm not worried. When she first said I'm bringing home a man from the gym, honestly, I thought like we were going to get some absolute serious
the other guy
I'll have to deal with. But he's lovely.
His mate is also the instructor. I met him the other day, and he's, if anything, looks beefier than Chris, and I was like, found him quite physically intimidating. Then when I spoke to him, he was really soft-mannered, really almost a little bit insecure, and I was like, what? I'm supposed to be the insecure one, not you
my theory,
sexy beast.
I get a little bit of that vibe from Chris. My theory is that CrossFit is a little bit like Scientology, and it's a fucking cult. There's never going to be a time where the rope thing comes in handy, or the fucking tyre flipping, and I think they're just people who do CrossFit. There's no one who casually does it.
Oh yeah, there's no one who goes,
I've never met anybody
goes
like,
a week and then misses a few sessions.
Every couple of weeks I go to a CrossFit session. It's all like, we are training for something that you fuckers don't know about. And I reckon it's like Scientology. You get to like a level in CrossFit where they sit you down in a room and go, right, you're at level 4 of CrossFit now. The world is inhabited by alien lizards, and this is what we're training for. Go out there and do the rope thing where you flip it up and down. Absolutely certain of it. We are in danger of going off topic. It is AskSLP. I'm looking at 4 or 5 pages of wonderful listener interaction and questions and feedback. Shall we make a start and give the people what they came here for?
Definitely, I would say so.
Wonderful. Now, it looks to me, we should probably have planned this prior to starting recording, but it looks to me like it's basically paragraphed off with certain people. Shall we just do per paragraph? And
just put all the people's questions together.
Yeah.
So I didn't... I'll do the first guy.
Yeah, you do the first
second guy.
Precisely.
As we go along.
Who is the first guy?
Well, the first guy is someone who's sort of come out of the dark a little bit and brightened up our lives, I would say.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a chap named Benny Storer, at Benny_Storer on Twitter. I don't believe we'd have much input from Benny before the AskSLP rounds, but
he's been listening.
He's a good lad. He's from Tasmania.
I very nearly bestowed upon him, until you corrected me, the honour of first Tasman listener. But what was my colossal fuck up, Mark?
Well, Wally Frogmore, whilst he seems like he's in every place and no place, because he's a ethereal being in many ways.
He's a Black Ops Twitterer.
He also lives in Tasmania, so maybe they could get together and have an SLP Tasman meet-up.
Do you think that in the way we make jokes about, like English people make jokes about the Welsh being a certain way, or we'll make jokes about Scots being tight fit, do you think there's Tasman jokes in Australia? Do you think there's like,
probably
a bloke from Melbourne and a Tasman walking into a bar, and then it goes off like that, and the Tasman is, you've got 6 fingers and gills or something? Do you think they do? Do you reckon that's a thing? These lads will probably tell us, and I'm certain they haven't got 6 fingers and gills.
I think it is, yeah.
I think it might be a thing.
Yeah. One of them will be taking the mick out for bumming man sheep. Whereas
do you mean rams, man?
In mainland, they'll just bum women sheep.
There you go. That'll be it. Fabulous.
And that's socially acceptable, but those Tasmans are weird.
Now that we've driven you away, Benny, thank you for your questions. But it's awesome, because I think Tasmania would make you geographically the furthest away from us, wouldn't it, in terms of listenership? Yeah,
California is probably the other end of the scale, but that feels like it must be closer than Tasmania by some way.
Because you don't cross a hemisphere, do you? You don't cross the equator, do you? But no, it's exciting. But how exciting was it to start hearing from Benny? And
I mean, of course, Johnny, that rivet lived in New Zealand for a while.
Oh, he's everywhere, isn't he?
So maybe we have some other Kiwi listeners, and they'll be a little bit more further away, I suppose.
He's like another stateless refugee, isn't he, Johnny? He gets everywhere. I have a theory about Johnny as well. I think Johnny might be a hitman.
A hitman?
He's everywhere.
And he gets like a hot European bird on his arm.
I don't wish to comment. I would have preferred to have met her hot single friends that time in Liverpool. But maybe I think Johnny might be a hitman. I'm reasonably convinced.
You need to plan your life better than to stop unexpectedly ending up with your daughter over a weekend.
There's no woman on earth I'd rather spend time with.
Right, Benny's
Look at that, there you go. Benny's questions, yes.
Right, he said, I picked my Super League side, Hull FC, based on where my grandfather was from. How did you choose your NRL sides?
Right.
I'll answer this first, because you'll have a story, I think.
Yeah, I think this came up in the first AskSLP, but it's always good to touch back.
I don't have an NRL side.
See, I nominally thought you were a Souths fan.
Yeah, so I just go with anyone who's got Wigan/British links, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the Bunnies with Madge there, I've liked them since that happened, and then you've got all the Burgesses and that sort of stuff, and you had a few Wigan players, like you had Lima go back there, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, there's that connection, so I do like them. There was the Warriors when they had Tommy and Sam and Hoff was there, and he's still there. So they were sort of another team that I normally sort of followed. I enjoyed watching Canberra last year. I think I would have enjoyed watching them without all the British players, but that helps sort of thing. But I don't have one team, but you, of course, do.
Yes, my Sharkies. Now, as I tell the story, this will probably become familiar to you. About 8 years ago, I was in the middle of a period of time working at a boarding school for naughty boys up in the Lake District, and there were 4 or 5 of us that were big rugby league fans. Now, 4 of them were Wigan fans, and they were all from sort of the same family, and they would drive up from Wigan, and there was me. And the lad I used to work with, John, he and I worked in the same part of the children's home together. It was a big, sprawling, like, boarding school, and it was obviously divided up into age groups. And we worked together, and of course we bonded over our mutual love of rugby league. And it was around the time when Sky Sports had the NRL on, so that kind of places it for you chronologically. We never didn't have an NRL team, but he and I would back and forth, and it was around about the time you lot were on the verge of getting relegated, because what we would do is print off route planners from their house to like Batley and Dewsbury and leave them in his tray. You
have told us this.
So he could he would pull out and watch this year. And that was for next season when you're at Batley. Little did I know that would come. Those chickens would come out to roost on me. And we were up early one morning watching the NRL, and he was a New Zealand Warriors fan. I took it quite seriously. He'd always followed them because of Wigan Warriors, and he'd adopted them as his team. And I hadn't really thought about it, but they were playing Cronulla, and Cronulla were winning. So I, obviously, because of the banter, got on board and started cheering Cronulla on. Now, Cronulla ended up going on to lose that game, but it was great fun. And from then on, they sort of occupied a special place in my heart. So I would always keep an eye out for the results. And then when I got Premier Sports and stuff, I would religiously watch Cronulla games. And then, of course, that's just how it went from there.
And then you finally got a taste of success.
Absolutely, to the point where, and this goes to show, I haven't done it. I've had a quiet word with myself. I almost bought a membership to be part of the club, but I haven't because I'm never going to go and watch them, am I?
Well, you're going to watch.
But you get people.
You're going to watch them in February.
I can't wait. Yeah. Absolutely can't wait. I've ordered in the last couple of days last year's Cronulla Day, so I've got that ready coming. I'm really looking forward to seeing them live. I'm very, very excited. But that's the story of how I came to be a Cronulla fan.
Fair enough. Benny's next question then was, what is the next step for Scotland RL after their Four Nations success?
I think I don't really know. I think because the next time that they're going to compete in a Four Nations, well, they've got a World Cup coming up, haven't they? And they're now ranked 4th in the world. So I would say that the next step, really, in terms of maintaining the momentum they built, particularly with the result against New Zealand, but also with intermittently their performances against Australia and England, I think they've got to be focusing on trying to get a semi-final berth. I know that it's on the opposite side of the world, and that Samoa and Tonga and Papua New Guinea and Fiji will be strong. But I think the next step, really, if you want to look at progression, is hitting that semi-final berth in the World Cup.
They certainly have to look at beating either Fiji, PNG, Samoa or Tonga in a knockout game.
And that would legitimise that 4th spot in the rankings for me. So that's where I think that's the next step for me moving forward. Do you have anything further?
Well, I think there needs to be some games played there next time Scotland are playing internationals.
Of course, yeah.
I also think a good step might be to introduce a domestic rep side. They've got a 4 or 5 team league up there, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like what Ireland have done. You know that
the Wolfhounds. Is that?
Yeah, they had that, and that's sort of been there. But what they've done is they've developed more of a local rep scene on sort of as a side to the main rep side that plays against the major nations. Yeah. They played some friendlies with only domestic players or non-professional players against. I think they played one against Malta maybe, and one against. I can't remember off the top of my head, like Spain or Sweden or Jamaica or someone else. But basically, that's how they're doing it, and they have those Origin games, don't they? Yeah. And they've kind of tried to develop a domestic-based rep side that supports the main national side in a way, because a lot of those players might get in and around that squad, but wouldn't be picked in the 17 or the 19 or whatever you would do for match days. Yeah. So I think Scotland need to try and do that, but we really need some games being played up there at some point again. That would benefit us. Yeah, his next question actually links to Scotland too. He says, this Tasmanian listener wants to know, what is the northernmost rugby league club, amateur or professional, in the UK? Right, well, you're obviously better prepared than I. However, if I was to take a wild swipe, isn't it Aberdeen? Yeah, the Aberdeen Warriors is the one that I thought of straight away, and then I sort of cross-checked the Scottish league, and they were the northernmost ones I saw. I don't know if there's other sort of non-competitive sort of teams. The Aberdeen like Warriors, an enclave somewhere, like in the very... If there's in like the Outer Hebrides, like just 26 blokes that live on the island that play rugby league against each other. That would be amazing. It would be awesome, wouldn't it? I think that the Aberdeen Warriors are in the Challenge Cup first round this year. They played in it before. They won it last year. Before as well, weren't they? Okay. On the international theme, still, if Great Britain returns, which of their previous jerseys would you want to be resurrected? I have two favourites. I loved this question. I like talking about stuff like this. My favourite one, I can't remember which tour it's from, but I've got a vision of Keith Senior wearing it, where the sleeves were white, but it had the V. And I think it's from like 2007, and I really like that one. But the one that I would resurrect just for sentimental values were from when we were down under and we beat them after all that Bondi stuff with Leon Price, and it was the iconic image of Jerry Peacock going in and chinning Willie Mason after he'd sucker punched poor Stuart Fielding. That one with the blue collar. I like that was I had that one, and that was a favourite of mine, and I wish I hadn't got rid of it. I've got the one with the blue sleeves. That's sort of quite a lot of blue, and then there's but it was a collared shirt though. Yes, they just have like the round V, but this one was a collared shirt. I'd just go for sort of. They don't tend to go with collars anymore. Melbourne had a massive collar on their sort of throwback shirt last year. That was funny looking in this day and age. But good. And I'd just go with the traditional sort of white with a blue and red chevrons sort of thing. I think chevrons is a good word. Is how I'd go with it. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. There you go. Right, what's Benny got for us next? Right, so the last one from Benny is, hearing whispers here in Tasmania that Danny Brough may be playing for Widnes next season. Thoughts? True or false? Yeah. True or false? Well, at the time he asked the question, I saw this and I thought, well, there's no way. But since he asked SLP, of course, Kevin Brown has moved from Widnes to Wellington. No, I think he asked us after that had happened. Do you think so? I remember reading it and thinking, well, there's no way. But no, I think it was after that happened. I would be surprised if he goes to Widnes, to be honest. I think he probably feels like he's got a certain amount of unfinished business at Huddersfield. And at Huddersfield, the whole team is built around kind of Danny Brough as well. So I don't know whether or not he feels like he would need to. Most, it would be a sideways step, and I'm not sure at his stage in his career he necessarily needs to. But then would the coach want to put his own stamp on the team, and that would mean getting rid of Danny Brough? Possibly. What do you think? I haven't heard anything although I haven't been particularly close to the rumour mills. I haven't been trolling the forums and that sort of thing during the off-season so far. But it surprised me, but then Kevin Brown to Warrington astounded me a lot. Yeah, absolutely. So you never know. It would raise an eyebrow if he did. I think it would raise an eyebrow if he did. Thank you. Whilst we're on sort of that sort of switch, then Brown to Warrington. I think the enthusiasm. It almost felt like it was with forced enthusiasm. To be honest, I don't rate it. I don't rate him as the kind of half. I think he's a good player. I think he takes the line on well. I think he's a solid half for Widnes, and he was good for Huddersfield as well. He's not the player that gets you over the line. He's not the X factor player that someone like Sandow was. Now, the way Sandow's gone about his exit from Warrington is reprehensible and pretty cowardly, really. And
And they've obviously found, but we'll get to people who are a bit more reprehensible and cowardly.
Getting someone else to phone them up to tell them.
Exactly. It lacks a certain amount of class, and no one was happy